Alright, what's cracking, guys and girls? Got my build sorted out now. This is what I've landed on for the Melee dot build. It's no longer a bleed build, no longer a poison build, it's a combination of both. So here we go. Azoth Crystal Hat. Featherweight. I added Shirking Heels to this. Padded Molten Wrist Guards of the Scholar. Now, I bought these from the Trading Post. I'm aiming for refreshing. I want 4 times refreshing on this. If you can get it in the spare slots, go for Elemental Aversion. As you can see, each piece has Nature Harnessing on it. Each piece also has the Arboreal Elemental Ward, which is 2% elemental damage absorption, and your nature attacks deal 2% extra damage. So we're looking at an empower cap of 18% with all pieces having nature harnessing and the arboreal elemental wood. I had these boots. I bought these from the AH2. I think they're about 10k gold. We got enchanted war, shirking heels, and nature harnessing on these. And then these boots. I got these recently. I had a guy in Trading Post craft me these. I actually asked them if they could make them, and they insisted it was going to be prismatic and expensive. And I said, no, I really just want the enfeebling skewer and the nature harnessing. I said, how much for that? And he said, just get the mats, I'll make it for you for free. And I said, you know what? That's a nice gesture. I'll just give you 10k for the boots. So I paid 10k for these just because the dude was awesome. So thank you very much for that if you see this. Got the shield from the Forge, I think it might have been. A lucky drop, actually. It was a lucky drop. It dropped at 700. But I like the stats on it. The Keen Vicious, Sturdy Energy, and Shield Aggression. Of course, we got the Venom Spear. I added Bleeding Sweep to that for the 28% extra bleed damage on the Coup de Grace. My sword is the Jackalope Antler. This is all I was able to craft at the particular time. However, I really find Keen Speed useful, especially when you're running people down, and that's the same for Empowering Leaping Strike. Sticking to people's pretty hard with this build at times, especially if they're ranged and especially if they have slow. So these 2 perks I feel like are pretty invaluable. If I could swap a perk out, it would be Keen. I'd change that to Rogue. And the reason why is because when we get a Shield Bash, we actually can roll to their back and get a free backstab. So we get the crit, and it's also a heavy. So yeah, we got Shield Bash, which adds a stun. It's like, I think it's 2 seconds. So anyway, it just looks like this. Bang, roll to their back, and then stab. And as you can see, because we have the Venom Spear, it carries the Poison Dot. And you'll also notice that this is socketed with the Electrified Rune Glass. So it converts 50% of damage dealt to lightning. And it also adds a dot, so 8% lightning damage per second for 2 seconds. If we look at the Venom Spear, I have the Arboreal Gambit on it. And when we don't have full stamina, we do a poison dot of 8% nature damage for 2 seconds. So that's the weapons. I'm using Stone Form because it's just invaluable. I love the CC break and the extra little bit of survivability. We have the Tanglevine Amulet. That's purely for thrust protection and the refreshing. A little bit of extra health on it too. The Red Hot Slag. Now this is one of the best rings in the game. I think you get this from the Forge as well, Empyrean Forge. And I have a bunch of different ones. This one has hardy nature damage and bloodletting. I have a couple different ones. I'll show you quickly. Where is it? So this one here, the Red Hot Slag, is the arcane damage. This is my arcane version of the bleed build, which is where you use the Butcher Sword. And if you've seen my previous videos, you know that I've deviated away from that, and this is sort of where I've landed now, this build here. Anyway, moving on. The last piece, I'm using the Endless Thirst, and I added Regenerating on that because Regenerating is S tier. Super good. And of course, with my stats, I always use the Banana Parfait. And my attributes are looking like this. We got the 100 strength, we get the light attack damage, we got the heavy attack damage, and then the 10% physical. So the 10% physical is the big one. We got the max cap and dexterity, with of course this being the most OP PV perk in the game. Weapon swapping will cleanse all stuns, root, crowd control status effects, 30-second cooldown. Pretty good. And then I went into a couple points of intelligence. First of all, 5% damage increase to backstab and random critical hits. 5% damage to increase targets with, inflicted with a damage over time effect, which is what our build is all about. We've got the poison, we've got the bleed, we've got the lightning dot. All good stuff, which contributes to the extra 5% damage, right? I ended up not going with the extra cooldown reduction purely because we're running refreshing. Otherwise, I'd have 25 points into focus somewhere. And then, of course, the rest into Constitution. This, of course, being the biggest perk here, an extra 10% max life. 14,662 life, and that is with the Banana Parfait. So, not the biggest health pool, but yeah, it's pretty good. Now, with this build, the highest, what would I say? I would say the weakest thing about the build is, as I found out recently, versus muskets, like some range weapons, some casters, usually you can like shield block and walk them down. I don't know if it's a musket thing. I don't know exactly what's happening with that, but I'm getting smashed by musket right now, so I would say it's weak against musket. Definitely weak against multiple melee, strong versus one melee, and it's pretty decent versus heavy. It breaks through heavy armor. The bleeds and the poison do a good job of breaking through that, especially the bleed, which is actually why I ended up going with the Red Hot Slag and re-rolling this to nature damage and bloodletting. Because the other one that I have is the Tangle Vine Ring, and you can see here it's got the poisoning, hardy, and nature damage, and this actually just does more damage. So you get an extra couple seconds on your bleed ticks. Alright, let's check out the weapon perks. We got the Deadly Consistency, 10% increased damage on consecutive heavy attacks against a single target. We got the Sweep, we got Tenacious Sweep, we got Coup de Grace, it's the big one. We got Invigorating Crits, restore 20 stamina on crits. We got 25% increased damage against knockdown targets with Merciless Strength. We got Strong Conditioning, stamina regeneration rate is increased by 30% when stamina is below 50%. We got the Skewer, we got Deadly Ambush, we got Follow Through, so our Empower. If you hit people in the back, you get an instant 20% bonus damage, super good. We got the Deep Wound, bleed duration increased to 15 seconds. We have Refreshing Jabs, so cooldowns are reduced by 10% on the second hit of the light attack chain. We got Finishing Blows, deal 15% increased damage against targets with less than 30% health. We got Vault Kick. Vault Kick's really good for breaking block, and it's really good for setting up sweeps. Got the Relentless Blows, gain in power after successful hits on targets below 50% health. Increasing damage by 20% for 5 seconds. So just know that if you have all the gear that I have and you Vault Kick someone and you get a crit with Skewer, you're already at Empower cap. Exposed Wounds, critical chance increased by 15% when attacking a bleeding target, which is almost always. We got Exacerbating Crits, critical hits extend the duration of your spear debuffs by 20%. And then we got Exploited Weakness, deal 10% bonus damage for each debuff on your target, which is why we went the different element on the sword. We went for Lightning Dot, just to get that extra debuff. Moving on to Sword and Shield, I've gone with Whirling Blade, Opportunity. This is for the armor. The Rend is pretty good. We got Successful Heavy Attacks grant 30% in power, and again, if we hit this, we should hit Empower cap. So with all the passive Empower that we have on gear alone, we get 18% from the armor, we get an extra 7 from the ring, so we're looking at like 25% Empower. So if we hit just one heavy sword attack, we're at Empower cap. Freeing Justice, successfully hitting with a target with heavy attack causes you to lose a debuff. Leaping Strike, awesome for finishing people and chasing them down, especially if you hit him in the back, adds a nice slow to it. Hit a foe below 30% health, deal 50% more damage, that's the finishing part. Cowardly Punishment, on successful hit, inflict a slow for 30% for 3 seconds. We got Mobility, move 33% faster while blocking. Opportunist, abilities deal 10% more damage to slowed foes. Leadership, when holding the sword, the damage of all group members is increased 10%. Moving on to Defender Tree. Sturdy Shield, grants an additional 15% armor. We got Sturdy Grip. Stamina damage is reduced by 15% when blocking a melee attack with a shield. We got defensive training. When you block an attack, gain 20% fortify for 5 seconds. Elemental resistance. Reduce damage from all magical types by 10%. Shield bash. I love this. I love this move. It's so good. Deal 50% weapon damage, staggering and stunning foes in front of you for 2 seconds. Intimidating bash. Shield bash causes greatly increased threat and now deals 75% weapon damage. And then concussive bash. Shield bash stun duration increased 1 second. So it's actually a 3-second stun. That's crazy. I thought it was 2, but yeah, 3. Super good. And then invigorating bulwark. Gain 15 stamina when hitting a target with shield bash or shield rush. Anyway, that's that. I'm going to leave you with a little bit of footage so you can see the weaknesses firsthand. And other than that, enjoy your day/night. See ya. Killing me. Oh, I fell. Coming. Holy shit. This guy's gaming. Guy being humble. Fucking awesome, what do you mean? Yeah, he almost killed him already. Oh, that was a clean win. Oh shit! Oh, got annihilated. CC him corner. Alright, so in conclusion regarding the build, play musket. No, I'm just kidding. Play what's fun, man. And I can tell you this build is fun, does a lot of damage, and you can play it in PvE as well. So yeah. Anyway, catch you guys later. See ya.